The concept of gaslighting has always been thrown around as a bad thing, and it is, generally. It's used against us frequently. But gaslighting can actually be used in a positive way, too, believe it or not. If you want to influence people in a positive manner, you can use the concepts of gaslighting to do that. We're going to show an example of that. General Flynn's got a great video out, and I don't think he's doing it, quote, to gaslight. He's actually doing it to ramp us up, to get us excited about what's happening, because frankly, what's going on in Arizona is a major battle that we all need to consider. So psychological warfare, and they're talking about how we're in fifth-gen warfare right now, fifth-generation warfare, essentially psychological war, information war, the things we're dealing with. The concept of gaslighting, psychological manipulation of a person, usually over an extended period of time, that causes the victim to question the validity of their own thoughts, perceptions of reality, or memories, and typically leads to confusion, loss of confidence and self-esteem, uncertainties of one's emotions or mental stability, and a dependency on the perpetrator. With General Flynn bringing our attention to the fifth-generation warfare, it's important to be able to identify psychological warfare techniques that are frequently deployed against us. Gaslighting has been one of their favorites, so it's important to know what to look out for. Now, I will say I am exceptionally skilled at dealing with psychological warfare, especially when it comes to the guilt complex and things along those lines. I grew up with it. Grew up in the middle of that. That was how things got taken care of, psychological warfare. So I've been trained well. Now, General Flynn put out a great video here, and he said, hey, help this go viral. So I'm going to do my part. I like General Flynn. Going to be seeing him soon. Looking forward to it. Yeah, total failure. Abysmal failure. Worst president ever in the history of presidents in this country, which is saying a lot. Saying a lot. In fact, there's going to be a Let's Go Brandon, which will probably always stick around, but like don't be a Biden or something. Like his last name's going to be tarred and feathered throughout history. There'll be a phrase, yeah, you don't want to go Biden on somebody, right? Like there'll be a phrase that sticks for years. For years. So they talk about how we're trying to profiteer from this. One could question whether that's true. I mean, I would say it is. I mean, I'm just saying one should question that. But NATO's Secretary General, the Secretary General, wants to prolong the conflict between Russia and Ukraine. On November 21st, 2022, NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg announced before the NATO Parliamentary Assembly that the military alliance wants to reach a peace settlement that would be acceptable for Ukraine. To achieve this scenario, continued flows of military aid must be sent to Ukraine. This is NATO. Ukraine is not a NATO member. We can like them all we want. Hey, Ukraine, you really look cute in fall, especially when you had the perm. Like, outside of that, we're prolonging a war? Why? Because we want to? Because we want to make sure that the freedom that Ukraine... This dude lied about a missile he launched that went into a neighboring country and killed people. I'm not saying he did it intentionally. I actually think it was an errant. I think he was trying to shoot down Russian missiles, and one of his missiles went into a neighboring country and killed people. And then tried to blame Russia and got caught. Same dude. Same guy who's shelling the Zaporozhye power plant, which risks causing one of the largest catastrophes ever, worse than Chernobyl. Probably worse than Fukushima. This is the dude that we want to support? And then we got doucheholes like this guy going, we need to keep sending weapons. Are you flipping serious? So the U.S. is apparently going to send Ukraine an additional $400 million to Ukraine in latest aid package. Now, aid package, from my understanding anyways, at least of this article, this 400 mil is actually just like cash. Not necessarily equipment, which counts as money, right? They'll be like, we sent them an equivalent of $4.6 billion. And then like, $4 billion of that's like weapons, right? And then 0.6 is cash. Apparently we've sent over 19 billion in aid, finger quotes, like gnashing teeth. We've sent over 19 billion in aid since the wider conflict began. Yeah. All sorts of crazy weapons. Surface-to-air missiles, artillery, stuff that we know is going into criminal hands. Already been discussed. There's an entire laundering criminal conspiracy going on in Ukraine, and we're like, oh, we got to keep fighting. We got to keep fighting, even though we're being blamed for continuing it. Even though we got NATO going, this needs to keep going. We need to keep sending arms. Because they're making money off this. This is all a deep state operation. They're trying to keep their empire afloat, and it ain't working. Now, interestingly, Belarus foreign minister and Putin ally dies after secret talks to end the war in Ukraine. Just died. I don't know if he ever met Hillary Clinton. Wasn't a suicide, from what I understand. Another mysterious sudden death in Ukraine and Russia saga has occurred. Belarus foreign minister immediately dies after meeting with the Pope's envoy, where he was secretly discussing working out a deal to end the war in Ukraine. Sounds like someone assassinated this man because he wanted to stop the war and find peace. But that's just me. It's not just you, Ultra Pepe Lives. I agree with you. I think a bunch of us do. Immediately dies. That's pretty quick. I don't even know. Was it like he, right when he got in the car, like, that'd be impressive. I mean, you know, I don't know if he like he got blow darted, if you will, if you can past tense it that way. But, you know, like right while he's talking to the Pope, he's like, oh, Pope, you're on, you know, and then like, I don't know how immediately was. One can speculate. I'm sure it'll make a great movie. This is different. Now, Donald Trump, and I'm just speculating here, folks. It's not being played this way anywhere that I've seen yet, which is why I think there might be some truth to it. Now, I don't know what all they talked about, but apparently, per Donald Trump on his truth, this past week, Kanye West called me to have dinner at Mar-a-Lago. Shortly thereafter, he unexpectedly showed up with 3 of his friends, whom I knew nothing about. We had dinner on Tuesday evening with many members present on the back patio. The dinner was quick and uneventful. They then left for the airport. Now, Kanye's come out and had this little rigmarole about the conversation he had and how Trump was saying he shouldn't run for president. And literally, that might be it. I mean, he had people out in the patio that can back this story up. But what also could be going on is maybe trying to get together and figure out what all's happening. What are we doing with this child stuff? You know, maybe getting a little help on his side of this fight. Much like I'm sure Musk every once in a while has found ways to hit up Trump and just make sure they're all on the same page. I assume Putin does too, maybe Xi. There's got to be ways. And again, maybe it's courier. Maybe they're writing each other notes with, you know, disappearing ink or something stupid. But yeah. Now just keep this in mind, folks. The FBI, the FBIzzle. They lied to the FISA court. They covered for Hillary. They did Hunter's laptop, or hid Hunter's laptop. They targeted Trump's friends. They raided Trump's home. They've interfered in our elections and then put people in prison for questioning it. Same people that, you know, like to kick down doors at 4 a.m. Apparently you got like 36 seconds to answer the door or something. So if you hear that, bang, 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 36 seconds or they're busting the door down. Something like that. Close to it. You can count while you're running. Trying to put you. Elon Musk addresses Trump's silence on Twitter. He made his comment to reply to author and comedian Tim Young, who said the left can't handle Trump's Twitter account being reinstated by Musk, even though the former president hasn't posted anything. It's been a week since Elon Musk brought Trump back, and without him even tweeting once, the left can't handle it, Young wrote. So I'm fine with that, Musk replied. The important thing is that Twitter correct a grave mistake in banning his account, despite no violation of the law or terms of service. He added, deplatforming a sitting president undermined public trust in Twitter for half of America. He's calling it out. He's 100% right. It's great what he's doing. It's great what he's doing. Now, Vox Populi, Vox Dei, I'm sure I'm saying that wrong. Elon Musk says, the people have spoken, or the people speaking is the voice of God, essentially, right? What the people say is the word of God. You can say it a lot of different ways. Translates funny, but that's basically what it is. The Vox of the people, the voice of the people. Vox Dei is the voice of God. So Elon Musk says general amnesty for suspended accounts begins next week. People are freaking out. Again, a poll. People have spoken, 72.4%. 27.6% said no. Which goes to show, again, without bots, because I think a lot of the bots have been removed, that 3/4 of the people disagree with the echo chamber of 1/4 of the people. And for a long time, 1/4 of the populations looked like 3/4 of the population. And a lot of us felt like we were in the minority. It's never been the case. We just thought it was because they lied to us. They've been manipulating us. Twitter was a prime example of how they did that. 72% of the people are like, yeah, bring them back. You know, progressives and lefties don't want that. You know they're part of that 27%. Now, maybe they feel like their vote doesn't matter anymore. Maybe they've been disenfranchised. Possible. We'll see how it all plays out. This is going to be an interesting week. Twitter's freaking out. The truth's coming out. As Washington Post says, opening the gates of hell. Musk says he will revive banned accounts. AP News, Musk says granting amnesty to suspended Twitter accounts. Oh no! Axios, Musk's Twitter amnesty plan for suspended accounts alarms activists. News at 11. The Guardian, and Elon Musk offers general amnesty to suspended Twitter accounts. Oh no! Oh no! Liz Wheeler says, if Apple and Google boot Twitter from their app stores, Elon Musk should produce his own smartphone. Half the country would happily ditch the biased, snooping iPhone and Android. The man builds rockets to Mars. A silly little smartphone should be easy, right? And he responded, I certainly hope it does not come to that, but yes, if there is no other choice, I will make an alternative phone. Again, I can't disagree with the guy. And if Twitter and Android are stupid enough to do that, they literally will lose a huge chunk of their market to anybody that's able to provide what they're looking for. Again, it might be, like I said, with the Samsung, maybe not. But you get that Samsung store. That means I can download stuff from there. Screw what Google thinks. I got it from the Samsung store. Bite me. So there's options. And I assume other people will get smart about Apple, and you can jailbreak phones. I mean, there's going to be options out there, but it's not going to work well for Android or Apple. Andy Ngo's talking about how they're talking about starting some dangerous activities at Tesla factories. That's not democracy. U.S. bans imports from Chinese tech giants, citing national security concerns. Finally have banned Huawei into our military and all sorts of stuff. Covers Chinese tech giants such as Huawei, which had a lucrative market in the United States until we started realizing they were spying on us. Again, TikTok's another. If you guys are using TikTok, strongly recommend you don't. Whatever. Strongly recommend you don't. It is spying on you, and I think a lot of people don't quite understand what that really means. I got nothing to hide. Yes, you do. You got a lot more to hide than you realize, not just contacts in your phone, which annoys me. Like, if you have me in your phone, please delete me, please. Right? Like, if you don't consider that information private, then, yeah, I don't want you having that information. We need a ban on Chinese-made drones across all government, like DOD already did. That just got me thinking on this one. Now, again, could be legitimately exactly like what they said. We don't want these Chinese drones flying around anywhere. One, because you can fly them in places you're not supposed to be able to. Two, because they could be spying on us. Whatever. But then there's the other side of this. You can actually hack these, the geofences on these drones and literally fly them in places you're not supposed to. And then they give some examples. But it made me think, it's like, I mean, if there was a thing that the people could possibly have to give them power to spy on their own government, God, this is kind of one of them. So I feel like this kind of goes both ways. These Chinese drones might actually be useful for us to spy on the deep state, because they're hard to deal with, at least currently. That's not going to take that long for that to change, but, little geomagnetic or electromagnetic messing around, and you could probably screw these things up in a lot of ways without, harming people. But still, it's interesting. Now, this foreign company wants to mine massive amounts of lithium in Nevada. First, it must overcome its China problem. This company, 10% of the American version of this company and the South American version of this company are owned by China. And they want to give these guys rights to our lithium mine in Nevada. And that's not cool. So they're talking about splitting this up, but China still owns 10% of the American version of the company. So what they're trying to do is like, well, see, China's not involved anymore. But it's like, no, yeah, they are. They're still involved in the American side of the company. You split it into two companies. You have a South American company and you have a North American company. The North American company and South American company both own 10% by China. Until China removes its interests completely, then it still technically owns 10% of this lithium mine, which is used to make batteries, which we get as a problem considering what the Biden administration is trying to do. And here they are, much like Hillary Clinton and the uranium deal they made with Russia. Here we are making a deal with a foreign country to give them our resources for them to get money. It's disgusting how it plays out. So Europe is trying to get the U.S. to understand, hey, learn from our $800 billion green energy disaster. They're essentially saying, don't do what we did. Don't listen to Greta Thunberg. She's going to lead you all down the broke path and you're going to be dead. You're going to be freezing when it comes to wintertime. Kind of funny, because Europe's always been the enlightened ones amongst us. And here they are, not so enlightened it seems. Now China, of course, because they really care about the environment, they're going to be doubling down on coal-fired power plant capacity. They aim to avoid the European and U.S. blunders. Again, Biden's literally selling out our country. They are trying to set us up to fail, and nobody's saying, China, you got to do the same thing. I mean, they're suggesting it in lightly worded syntax, but whatever. This is what they're trying to do to destroy us. Not cool. Now, one of the other things they try to do to destroy us is they try to get you to actually get crap foods in your body, preservatives, all this other stuff. Again, the attack is happening right now. The attack against the deep state. They will respond back. Now, the Office for Budget Responsibility is revealing the crippling cost of net zero. Again, it's just the Biden organization, the Biden administration, trying to destroy this country and Europe, the Western countries. And this is what they've been trying to do through this whole net zero thing. So we've got to fight this. And the thing that really bothers me, I think, the most about this is and I think this is an argument that all of us should consider because I think it defeats their argument. Their argument's very simple. It's like, what, do you not care about the environment? And our answer generally, for a lot of people, is no, it's a bunch of crap. It's nonsense. You can't prove any of it's true. Yeah, I mean, I agree with you, but better way to approach it? Hey, I think we could do things more efficiently. Absolutely. The internal combustion engine's a great example. I don't know why we're only getting 30, 40 miles to the gallon. It's insane. Why aren't hybrids being pushed more than all this battery stuff, which is very dirty for the environment, these lithium mines, the way they have to mine it, all this stuff. So, yes, I agree we could probably do things better, help keep the environment cleaner. But the approach that you guys are trying to do on the left is exceptionally dangerous to our economy, dangerous to our country, dangerous to our national security. So it is not a good implication, or it's not a good way of making this world better. Your guys' attempt at doing it is far more dangerous than good. And that's the argument. And you actually are going to, believe it or not, get some of these people to be like, well, he's not against the economy, or he's not against the environment, I mean. So, damn, okay. Because that's their easy argument. If you actually do care about the environment, now their argument's shot down. Keep that in mind. So per the prospect, this is just humans sharing this with us. The Securities and Exchange Commission was seeking information from collapsed cryptocurrency exchange FTX earlier this year. The prospect has confirmed, bringing a new perspective to an effort by a bipartisan group of Congress members to slow down that investigation. The March letter from 8 House members, 4 Dems, 4 Republicans, questioned the SEC's authority to make informal inquiries to crypto and blockchain companies and intimated that the requests violated federal law. They literally were trying to look into FTX. 4 Dems and 4 Republicans blocked it. I wonder if we got the names in here. I bet you we'd see our standard names. Let's see, Tom Emmer. I would expect to see like Romney and like McConnell. I don't see enough of these dudes' names popping out at me. Oh well. I'm sure we'll find out soon enough. Let's have a little faith. Ultra Pepe Lives Matter shared with us, consider the narratives being established. They fund wars so politicians can line their pockets with cash. This is mainstream with FTX.